Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have another Transformers Titans Return review for you today. This is the Siege on Cybertron box set. As you can see by this sticker down here in the lower portion of the box, it is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So pre-orders for this went up I think back in May or so, if I'm not mistaken. And it just came out about a week ago. They started shipping them about a week ago. I just got mine yesterday. So I'm very excited for this set. As you can see down here, we get the Japanese Jinrai version of the Power Master Optimus Prime mold. We get a Tidal Wave remold / repaint of Broadside. We get a Metalhawk repaint / remold of Trigger Happy. We get a brand new mold for the Decepticon twin Pounce. And then we get a Headmaster for Thunderwing. So pretty cool, I have to say. This one actually has die-cast pieces, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. But it's very similar to the Race or Panic on Velocitron, whatever the Velocitron box was called. That was sold in stores. I believe that was a Toys R Us exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. And then this one happened to be a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, at least in North America. I think in Canada, it was just sold at Toys R Us as well. Not 100% on that, but I believe that was the case. So, pretty cool scene here on the front. Here we go. We got Thunderwing, Pounce, Metalhawk, Tidal Wave. And they're calling him Magnus Prime, but it's Jinrai. Let's be honest. Not really anything going on the bottom there. Now, over here on the side, it says Beast Wars. I don't know why. Maybe it's foreshadowing? I couldn't tell you. Nothing in this box has to do with Beast Wars, so I don't know. This is just another shot of the side. But over here on the back, I'll read you this little paragraph at the top, since it's probably kind of hard to read. It says, "Thunderous power awaits on Cybertron, where the strongest bots in the universe clash in a battle of cataclysmic power. As a crew of formidable Decepticons ambush an indestructible Autobot defense unit, they deploy the ultimate weapon Thunderwing to unleash sky-shattering destruction on the Autobots." But he's just a head, so I don't know what he's doing on his own. He must have to take control of Tidal Wave or something. But again, if we look down here, it says Beast Wars. Do they think Tidal Wave is from Beast Wars? I don't know. I don't know why this says Beast Wars again. Nothing in this box set is from Beast Wars. G1, Master Force, Armada. G1. I don't know where the Beast Wars is coming into play. I don't know. But in any case, they really like talking about Beast Wars. I don't know. It's just funny to me. In any case, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Pretty cool box, though, I have to say. Very large, very similar, like I said, in packaging to that Velocitron set. Same size and everything. So let's go ahead, jump inside, and take a closer look. Before we move on to the figures, real quick, here are the little, instructions and peripherals. Little card with, again, this is the same artwork from the front of the box. Not really much going on there. You have your instruction sheets, and then you have this giant mini poster, I guess. Again, it's the artwork from the back, but then when you look on the other side, it's all their tech specs. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show that stuff off real quick. Not a whole lot to it, but that is all inside. So we're starting off with the big gun first, Magnus Prime. I'm just going to call him Jinrai for the rest of the review. That's what I'm going to call him. That's really what he is. This is the Japanese mold for Power Master Prime / Jinrai. Basically, we got this, which is a remold of the Ultra Magnus toy from Combiner Wars. They made it into Power Master Prime. In Japan, they said, good attempt, but not good enough for us. So, boom, they made their own remold. It's still the base Ultra Magnus mold. They just said, we can do a better job, and they did. So here is their version of Power Master Optimus Prime. Now, main differences, you can see our Power Master Optimus Prime just got Ultra Magnus's weapons again. They gave him the actual weapons that are closer to the G1 toy. Pretty much the same shoulder cannons, just slightly different color gray. You can see the chest is completely remolded. This actually looks like it has the Power Master Jinrai on the chest. Head is slightly different. If we lift this up, you can see the Power Masters inside are different. This looks more like Prime. This looks more like Orion Pax. I don't know why they chose that. I guess just for something fun. Now I can't get this back down, of course. I feel like overall I kind of just like the color scheme on this Jinrai better. You have kind of a darker, more metallic-y type blue, and the red is a deeper red, which I think also looks better. This guy's fine. It's just not... I think the color scheme on this are just deeper, more vibrant colors over here. You can see there's the little bit of yellow on the shoulder pads. The biggest difference, obviously, is down here at the feet. This guy's got normal feet, pretty much the same feet Ultra Magnus had. They gave Jinrai these really weird feet that I understand they look more like the original G1 toy, but they're still weird. And they're not super great at balancing him, because yes, they gave him these nice big heels, but as he starts to fall back, this is the way the heels transform. So if he starts to fall backwards, those heels are just going to start to transform, so they don't really hold him up. They should have had the heels go out in a way that is against the way they transform. That way they wouldn't just automatically fold in if he starts to fall backwards. Not really helping anybody there, but what are you going to do? You can also see that he's got, you know, peg holes here on the forearm, which this does not have. He's got some peg holes here on his hips, which this does not have. He's got some clips here on his chest, which obviously this does not have. All of that is for combinations with God Bomber, which I don't know if we're going to see an American release of God Bomber. I'm sure he'll get a different name if we do, maybe Sonic Bomber or something like that. But that's another reason they needed to remold this guy for their own purposes. They needed to be able to combine this guy with another toy that they made, because God Bomber is a Japanese exclusive character. He did not have a representation here in America. So they made their own. Now you can see from the back they look pretty similar. I know that God Bomber connects to the back somehow, but I'm not exactly sure. I will eventually review God Bomber now that I have Jinrai. I was kind of waiting. I've had God Bomber for a while, but I was kind of waiting till I got Jinrai before I reviewed it, because I felt like the combination with Jinrai is half the review of God Bomber. Without that, he's not as exciting. So I wanted to have this before I got to that review. But yeah, so those are the major differences for the combination as far as, you know, peg holes and things around. But also, like I said, I just really like the colors on Jinrai. I feel like they're deeper, more vibrant, and just overall, he looks sharper. Like, he just looks fancier, for lack of a better term. I don't know. This guy just next to him looks a little washed out, if you can see what I'm talking about. These colors are a lot more, not drab, but almost faded compared to, like, the red on this is almost like faded / orangey next to how bright and vibrant the red is on this guy. But that's enough for a comparison. I just wanted to at least put them side by side so you could see them. The American release is perfectly fine if you don't care about combination with God Bomber or anything like that, and you're just like, hey, it's a lot easier for me to pick up the release of the American version than, you know. But now that I feel like this is, yes, it's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, but the nice thing about it is this set was only $99.99, which if you price out each component in the box set, you're pretty much paying retail price. There's no inflated price for this box set. I mean, this guy would be $45 as a leader figure released on his own. You get a leader, a Voyager, which would be $25. You get a Deluxe, which would be $15. A Legend class, which would be $10, and a Titan Master, which would be $5. So all that together is $100. So you're really paying retail price. You just have to buy all 5. You can't pick and choose if you don't want everything in the box set. So there is that. But overall, I really like the look of this guy. The only problem with mine, I have this panel on the inside that like will not peg in. When I peg it in, it automatically pops right off, as you can see. And I think that's just because something is warped. He comes in the box in robot mode, So I think in the plastic or something, he just warped a little bit. So I might just rubber band that together and let it sit overnight, and maybe it'll warp it back into place. It stays sometimes, as you can see. Articulation, for the most part, is the same. The head can swivel from side to side. Shoulder, you have this in the shoulder. You have the bicep swivel. You have the elbow joint. The wrists can swivel. Typical hip ratchet, front to back and out to the side. Thigh swivel, 90 degrees pretty much in the knee. And then you have like this weird part of the foot can rotate. This whole piece can rotate in and out. It can go back a little bit just because of the transformation. But I don't know. The feet are just, like I said, I completely get what they're going for. I just wish the heels were handled a little better. You can get them to stand. It's not normally a problem, but it can be a little annoying at times. So transformation for this guy is not super different from the American version if you've seen that, or even Ultra Magnus. Going to go ahead and open this up, pull the head out. This whole section is going to flip down. Open this up. Flip this little piece out, but before you do that, this whole head section is going to rotate into this chest cavity. Then you can flip this up. That'll all fill in the gaps there, and then you have your cab. You can rotate this whole section back. This will lift up. You're going to come down to here, and you're going to pull this away. Pull it down, and then you're going to slide the whole part out. Then you're going to lift this, swivel that around, and it'll peg in down there. And then you have your cab. Coming down to the feet area, you can go ahead and pull these out just like that. So the only part that's really different is this whole weird new toe assembly. And basically this kind of rotates up, swivels around. You can fold the heel in. And then when you come down here, it'll kind of just accordion in on itself. And then this just folds down like that. And that's pretty much it. So I'll do it again over here. Accordion this, like pull this out, swivel it around. Then on this joint where my finger is, and I apologize because it's kind of dark because his other leg is casting shadow. But this is going to just accordion in on itself like that. And then you fold down the toe and then fold this down. And that's it. So then you're going to come back to here, bring these forward, open this, they unpeg. Then you're going to rotate this whole section, unpeg it, rotate it down, it'll peg back into place. Like that. Now this part's a little different as well. Before you would just put this all the way down. Here you're going to rotate these pieces up. Just like that. And then get this all... For some reason my hip joint I kind of have to click it out and then bring it back in. It's a little tight. But there we go. You can sandwich all this together. So there you go. You pretty much have the back. You're going to come around to the arms. Unpeg these and they'll swing around. At this point, you're going to want to rotate the fists so that the back of the hand is facing upward. So you can kind of put this down at this point. You can start to see the truck taking shape. This flips forward. Here, you can actually pull out the arms right above the wrist. And you can do that. I'll show you right here. So right at the wrist, pull them straight out like that. Bring this down. These will flip forward. Make sure you straighten everything out. Then these will peg together. This will kind of peg together. This will peg together. You'll bring this down. You can see there's a tab right here. And there's a peg hole inside on each side. So you bring this down. Peg that in. Peg that in. Come around to here. Make sure this is pushed down and these are all bent correctly. Then you're going to bring this whole thing around. These little connectors here are going to peg into here, as well as this will peg into this. So bring that in. It kind of makes sense to do this bottom part first. There we go. There we go. And then you can bring this top section up as kind of the back of the trailer. There we go. That wasn't in all the way. So there you go. That's pretty much your vehicle mode. Like I said, very similar to how the American version and Ultra Magnus transform. Like I said, I think the only real major difference is that these feet pieces fold up underneath like that. You can take these and put them on the sides here where they go. There we go. You can take the guns, and just like the original G1 toy, they can peg up here. But you have to be a little careful because there's not a whole lot keeping these panels in place. So you might want to hold on to them as you peg into them. But there they go. And there you go. The only thing is there's not a great place for this guy. And I should show you this guy real quick. He's got nice paint on his head. I kind of wish this was painted like the Power Master Jinrai. I don't really know why they didn't, because I'm pretty sure the Japanese version is. Which means this is some weird paint job that they just decided to call Magnus Prime. But, I mean, the face looks nice. The face definitely looks like Jinrai. I can't complain there. And it's really nice paint job with the metallic blue, the silver, even the little part on the crest is painted. I like that a lot. So, I love the Jinrai head sculpt and paint job for the face. Just this little guy, you know, this midsection should be white. And you can tell the visor is Jinrai's visor. It's just the head should be white. The visor is the right color. The head should be white. The midsection should be white. And this section should be like dark gray. Then it would be perfect. He'd be Jinrai. It'd be perfect. But either way, this little part looks good. I just wish you could like open this up and have him ride inside, which I guess you kind of can. Let me see if I can angle this down. You can kind of do this. It doesn't work the best. I think this does work, actually. It's funny, I say that and then I remember, oh yeah, I think you can actually do this. So, if you can see here, there's kind of like a little chair in there. And I think you are meant to do this. Let me see. He does kind of fit. Oh yeah, that's right. Sweet. So you can do it. I was right. I was complaining about it, and then I suddenly remembered, you know what? I think you can actually do that. So there you go. He can ride inside, which is pretty cool. And I like it. I like it a lot. I really like this truck mode. It's very similar to the American version, but I think the paint job is much better. And I think the colors are definitely more vibrant. Like I said, the only thing I wish that the Headmaster was painted like the Power Master Jinrai from G1. But I think it was called HQ over here, actually, in America. But in any case, I wish the Headmaster was painted like the original Target Master. That's my only complaint. And the feet are a little weird, but they're serviceable. So next up we have Tidal Wave. He comes in the package in his aircraft carrier transformation. Taking the gun off. It's exactly the same as Broadside's gun. Now it's just translucent orange instead of translucent blue. I think it looks good, especially with this color scheme. I think they made a nice choice, very Galvatron-esque. But very cool. Taking a look at the Headmaster real quick. Very plain in the robot mode. Very just light gray with a little bit of purple. But when you transform him, you get this head sculpt. Which it's been a while, but I think this is what Tidal Wave's head looked like. I feel like they didn't nail it 100%, but it's close. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've really done anything with anything Armada related, but so we'll put that off to the side. I think the aircraft carrier mode looks good. Nice Decepticon symbol here on the front. I like the color scheme. Unfortunately, the stickers are already starting to peel in places, but that's just the nature of foil stickers. But overall, I definitely like the color scheme. And I think this has to do with Tidal Wave's second color scheme in Armada. Because at first, he was kind of a deep pink, like a magenta, deep dark magenta and green, and I think light gray was his other colors. And then he got a repaint about halfway through, and that was this color scheme. And then he got another repaint when he went over to Energon. So Tidal Wave's seen some repaints, but I think this was his second color scheme. But overall, it looks pretty good. Transformation to robot mode. Or maybe I might do let's do the plane first, because it's easier to go from this to that. So you push down the antenna, flip this around. See if I remember how this goes. Fold these down, back into the chest. This unpegs and rotates down like that. These unpeg and swing out to the side because they will be the wings for the plane. There we go. Now, depending on if you want the official transformation or the fan kind of transformation, I guess I'll do the official transformation. So split these apart, fold these up. This, I think, folds back down. This folds underneath. These flaps fold back. And then you have to peg this in. Is it up here? I think it's right there. And then this folds down. And then you unpeg this and just rotate this whole section back. And this is supposed to, this clip is supposed to pop into this hole. And I'll get closer. This clip in that little hole right there. It seems like it's holding together a little bit better than Broadside. So I don't know, maybe they perfected the mold a little bit. But this is like the official plane mode. I still think it's a mess as far as design goes. But like I said, it does seem to hold together a little bit better than Broadside does. But yeah, this thing, to me, it doesn't look like a plane. The front looks like a plane. If you cut it off about here, it looks like a plane. This is a mess. Oh, and I forgot to show, the aircraft carrier does come with the little planes. So if you, this is a weird piece of plastic. Well, whatever. So Broadside came with a white set of these. He comes with a black set. So there they are, just to show you. You can open this up and put the... Why don't you open? I swear it opens. There we go. You can put the Tidemaster inside. I do like that about it. I love when they can fit in the canopy. Very simple, but I like it. So, yeah. The unofficial plane mode is to basically just push these down. And I think these stay up. Maybe, I think this goes like this. This kind of comes up here. It kind of just looks like the feet are just down. Oops. I forgot to unpeg that. And then the feet come up. And then these just kind of, well, this has to stay like this. Whoops. That's why this is not flat. Come here. Sorry. It's really being a pain in my butt. There we go. Okay. Bring this down. This lies back like this. This lies back like that. So that's kind of the unofficial fan plane mode. It's not a heck of a lot better, but it looks a lot less bulky and strange. And some people will even You can pop these off and flip them around the other way so it looks a little better. But in either case, it's not really fantastic. Getting to robot mode, though, from here is particularly easy. Go up like this, fold these back down, fold these down. I believe these fold... No, I guess they go like this. They kind of form little knee or shin guards like that. Fold these up. All right, let me move the camera here so you can actually see what I'm doing. These pieces fold down. And then at this point, it's up to you how much of the wing you kind of want exposed. If you want to fold it all the way in, you can. If you like, I kind of like to do just a little bit sticking out from the side, so it almost looks like a cape, kind of. That's just what I like to do. Rotate the fists out. There we go. Rotate the hands around. Like that. Again, if you've seen my broadside review, you're probably very familiar with this transformation already. And then this whole section, you have to lift this up, and then the whole thing will rotate down. And there we go. And then we'll put the new head on. And Tidal Wave. Not particularly Tidal Wave-esque, but it's decent. I mean, I like the mold. It's obviously more broadside than it is Tidal Wave. All they really did was repaint it and give it a new head. But it's alright. It's definitely my least favorite figure out of this box. But it's okay. I mean, it's a good repaint. I like the color scheme. It's definitely kind of a Galvatron-esque color scheme. I know Tidal Wave did have this color scheme late in Armada, but I think I would have preferred really either of the other two color schemes, to be honest. It's just my personal preference. I like his Energon color scheme the best because it was very like neon green with lightning bolts and looked crazy and fun. It was like white, neon green, and maybe a little bit of purple, but not a lot. And then his original color scheme was kind of like a spring green, like a deep magenta and dark gray. I don't know, they just kind of worked. This is perfectly fine. It's just, to me, it's not that, I don't know, this mold doesn't scream Tidal Wave. It was like, yes, he was kind of an aircraft carrier, but he wasn't like a straight aircraft carrier. He was like an aircraft carrier, was only like one of his three parts, and then you put it all together to make like a giant airship. So it's a loose interpretation of the mold. It's like they're grasping at straws, in my opinion, but it looks good. It's just personally not something I needed. So in that same vein, this is something I absolutely did need. This is a remold / repaint of Trigger Happy as the Autobot Pretender Metalhawk. Now, he was a Japanese exclusive character back in Super God Master Force. You can see, you can open up the canopy there, pull out the little headmaster. We did not get him over here in America. Take a quick look at the little headmaster. There's some nice molding there in the head and the arms and everything, but it's just straight blue with light gray, solid color scheme. But really nice job on the head here. You can't see the eyes so much because they're kind of sunken back, but it's a nice light blue for the eyes. The gold on the head looks great. Really accurate to the original anime, which looks fantastic. So, if you're not familiar with Super God Master Force, there were 4 Autobot Pretenders. There was Metalhawk, Phoenix, Lander, and Diver. And we got 3 of them over here in America as toys. We got Diver as, I think, Wave Rider. Phoenix was Cloud Raker. And I think Lander came over as Landmine. So we got those 3 because there were only 3 Decepticon Target Masters on that. I'm sorry, yeah, Target Masters. Pretenders on that show. So they decided to just do 3 and 3 to keep it even. But the anime had 3 Decepticons and 4 Autobots. So Metalhawk was an exclusive character in Japan for that show that we did not get any toy representation of back in the original G1 days. He has since kind of shown up in the IDW comics. I don't believe as a pretender, just as an Autobot, but I'm behind on the comics, so I could be wrong about that. But I do know that he's in there. And that might be why they decided to do this toy of him. Regardless, I'm a huge Master Force fan, so I was very excited that this guy was included in here. Because he did turn into just kind of a normal looking jet, but it was very much this color scheme. And it looks really, really nice. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the transformation here. You're going to bring the arms kind of just out to the side for now. You're going to pull this back. The legs will kind of flip down and you can pull them apart. Pull these out to become the feet. And you can see there are heels as well in the back. Then you're going to, I believe, it's been a while. No, you're going to bring this down. You're going to spin this piece around. I knew spinning was involved. Bring this up. That's going to clip into place there. You're going to also spin the crotch around. So there you go. You're going to bring this down. And that's going to clip in like this. Yeesh. Joints are really tight on mine, but I guess that's good. Okay. This is going to just fold down here on the back, just like that. Then you're going to take the wing pieces, and they kind of just fold back like that so that these can flip up. And then these will flip back, and these will flip up. And then you can fold out the fists. And then you can see here, you have the robot mode. The hips are a little loose, but not a huge problem. Then we'll transform the headmaster and pop him on top. And there we go. We have Metalhawk. And I have to say, he looks great. Legs are nice. Chest is gold, just like the original character. Head sculpt looks great. I wish he came with a sword, because he did have a sword on that show, but that's really my only complaint. I also could have done without these things on the side. I know Trigger Happy had them, but I feel like we could have just left them off and I would have been okay with it. I guess technically you could take them off yourself if you really wanted to, but I really like this guy. He's a very nice homage to a character we did not get many toys of, if any. I know that they are going to do as part of the Power of the Primes, which is kind of the next in the trilogy. There's Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and now Power of the Primes. And they're going to do all these little Pretender shells for the Titan Master releases instead of, like, in Titan's Return we got like a little Titan Master and then like a kind of a chassis or a vehicle slash weapon thing that they could kind of fit into. So instead of that piece, it's going to be little Pretender shells with the Titan Masters. And I believe they're doing all of the Autobot Pretenders that I previously mentioned, and I think they are going to do Metalhawk again. So I like having this robot mode for him, but it's going to be awesome to also have the little Pretender shell. Articulation is pretty much the same as Trigger Happy. Hips, ball joint, swivel in the thigh, pretty much a little bit more than 90 degrees in the knee. A little bit of ankle play, but like I said, it's really the same articulation as Trigger Happy, but I love this guy. He looks fantastic. Really, really happy with this. Glad to finally have a nice representation of Metalhawk. Next up, we have Pounce, which is the only true new mold in this wave. He is one of the Decepticon clones. He turns into a jaguar, I guess? Some kind of cat. We'll go with jaguar. I like him a lot. Now, the other Decepticon clone is Wingspan, I think. And he turns into kind of an eagle. And I think he will be available in a 2-pack. They've done one Autobot clone in the first pack and one Decepticon clone in this pack. And then they're going to do a 2-pack with the other clone. So there'll be a 2-pack of one Autobot clone and one Decepticon clone that we don't have so far. And I believe that's a Walgreens exclusive, but it hasn't really been popping up yet. A couple people found them at online retailers and stuff, but I'm very much looking forward to that, because right now I only have one of each of the clones and I need the other two. But this guy looks great. Unfortunately, the mouth does not open and close. I kind of wish it did, but no big deal. Articulation in this mode, this can move around. You also have this kind of bend in the leg, but that's mostly for the transformation. You have a bend here, and then again you have a little bit of movement here, again mostly for the transformation. Tail can move, head can technically move a little bit. Again, it's really all for the transformation, but you can make use of it in this mode. Overall, it looks pretty good. Transformation is very simple. The head of the cat rolls back, and then you can spin the head of the robot around 180 degrees. You can take this whole assembly and it'll rotate back like that, which will put the cat legs to the back and bring the robot legs out to the side. Then come around to the back, pull these down and fold these in on themselves. And he has a little bit of a backpack, but it's really not too bad, to be honest. And then here you already have the arms pretty much formed. Come to the legs. This whole tail assembly will go back, and this will fold in on itself like that. Now, if you want, you can kind of leave it as a back skirt, or you can kind of tuck it a little bit under the cat head and put it straight out. It's up to you. You're going to straighten out the legs, and then you're going to rotate them at the thigh 180 degrees. And then these will just fold into the back and give him heels, which is nice. So boom, there is your Decepticon clone of Pounce. You have the nice Decepticon symbol here in the crotch. You have the kind of cat symbol. And I don't think it's a rub sign. At least I haven't been able to activate it. So I think it's just a sticker. The original G1 toy was a rub sign. But yeah, he looks good. I like the heels they give him. I think that helps. Again, with this thing in the back, if you want to just have it hang down as like a back skirt, not really in the way. It doesn't hurt anything. If you want it all the way up, since he kind of already has a backpack anyway, then you won't see it at all from the front. Again, it's all personal preference. Head can swivel from side to side. You have a ball joint here in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel. You have a ball joint in the elbow. Ball joint in the hip. Thigh swivel. And then you have a pretty much 90 degrees in the knee. And really nothing in the ankle or anything like that. But for a little Legends class figure, I think he's great. I'm really excited to get the other two clones, one Autobot, one Decepticon, because I really want both clones for these, because I've gotten one of each so far, and I've been really impressed with both. So I definitely can't wait to get the other two. And I think this guy's great. Head sculpt is pretty basic. The eyes are almost kind of not painted all the way. It seems like, especially this one, could be painted a little bit more, but they're there. It's a very basic, he kind of reminds me of Reflector. Very basic head sculpt. But overall, I like this figure a lot. So last up, we have the little Thunderwing Titan Master. And basically, this whole section here is die cast. The face might be as well, but I don't think so, but it might be. The legs down here definitely are. Trying to get a good look at the face here, you can kind of see it's got some silver there. The blue up top for the head is painted nicely. And maybe the head is die cast too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's all die cast. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's hard to say. The arms, legs, the back of the head. I think this definitely is, and I think this definitely is. I'm not sure about these two pieces, but they might be. But you can try to see the face paint. I love this color, this light orchid for the arms. It's very G1 accurate color for this guy. So that's really nice. And then when you transform him, really nice job on the face sculpt there. Again, the eyes are always so sunken back, and it's kind of hard because the crest casts such a shadow. But they are painted red. The gold looks great. The green on the top. This all the paint looks really great. Really nice job there on the head sculpt. So this guy is your Titan Master for the box. And I think they did a really nice job with them. All the colors are very G1 accurate, and they did a great job painting the face. Really like this guy. So I really recommend this box a lot. I know that there's technically only one true mold, but if you think about it, The other box was kind of the same way. It did come out technically before Six Shot, but Quick Switch was technically not a new mold. He was a repaint as well. But they're really nice repaints. If you're someone like me who missed out on the Japanese version of Jinrai, but you have God Bomber and you want to merge them together, this is a perfect solution. If you never bought the American version, then I highly recommend jumping on this, because this, in my opinion, is better than the American version. But even if you already have the American version, I still recommend picking this up, because this is the superior version. I do think, even though the feet are a little weird, just the colors are so much more vibrant. You have the capacity to combine with God Bomber should you decide to track one down. The accessories are better. I really do think the paint job and everything with this guy is better than the American version, and it's worth getting. Plus, everything over here is really nice. I love the Metalhawk. Again, that might be my own personal bias because I'm such a huge fan of Master Force, but I still think it's a beautiful repaint of a great mold. Pounce is a lot of fun. I wish both clones were in here, but if you can just get Pounce, he's a lot of fun. Tidal Wave is by far my least favorite of the box, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with him. It's a nice repaint of a decent figure. I, for some reason, think this one holds together at least better than my broadside. I can't talk today. And that might just be my broadside figure, but I feel like for some reason this version of the toy holds together a little bit better than my broadside. And like I said, I really do like the color scheme of it. I just personally didn't care about a Armada Tidal Wave homage, but some people might love it, and I hope they do. I think it's a perfectly good homage. Personally, I would have liked either of his other color schemes better, but that doesn't mean that this isn't a good color scheme. It's just, in my opinion, again, personally for me, I'm not that excited about it. But it doesn't mean it's not good. It's a perfectly good toy, and there are going to be people out there who love Tidal Wave and are very excited to pick this up. So I think it's worth having. Let's put it that way. I definitely think it's worth having. It's a nice use of the mold, and I love the colors on it. So there's nothing in this box that is bad. I love all of it, but I can understand how there are some things that some people might say, well, I already have that, or I don't need that because I already have a different version of that toy, and I get that. But for me personally, I definitely think this box is worth picking up. If you're looking for it, it is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I don't know if that will eventually change, but at least for right now in the foreseeable future, it is their exclusive, so head over there. I know the pre-orders sold out, but now that they actually got it in, they might have more. I haven't checked. So head over there if you're looking for this, and I think the price isn't reasonable. Like I said, it's really just the price of buying all of these separately added together. There's no additional cost, which is nice. I mean, they're shipping, but what are you going to do? Their shipping is actually pretty reasonable over there. I do have to say that about Big Bad Toy Store. The shipping is pretty reasonable. So I think it's worth picking up. I like it a lot, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Siege on Cybertron box set from Transformers Titans Return. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.